Yo, are we live? Are we live? I'm gonna take a second to see if people get in real quick. But welcome. There's things going on right now, and one of them being Lil Nas X kind of went out there and a little wild. He was seen on Ventura Boulevard. I could tell it's Ventura Boulevard actually. I live in LA, so somebody said it was like in Hollywood or something like that, but it's actually Ventura Boulevard, which is like a long street in Los Angeles in the Valley, which is like Sherman Oaks, North Hollywood, Encino, Calabasas. I think it goes all the way to Calabasas, which is where a lot of celebrities live, like the Kardashians, and Drake had a house there before, I believe. I don't think he lives there anymore. I don't know. But I feel like I know, I may know what's going on. I feel like I could put myself in his shoes and kind of just, talk about this a little bit. But first, before I do that, let's take a look at this clip from Lil Nas X.
Nah, hey,
What
don't
up?
be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. Nah, go ahead, babe. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Go ahead, babe. Nah, 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 nah. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down?
So basically what people are saying is that Lil Nas X is just going crazy, and this may be a publicity stunt, and he's faking it because he has an album coming out or he's dropping a single or something like that. And everyone wants us to think this is basically the promo that we're getting leading up to the album. So here's what I think.
Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Stop.
So you know what? I actually think this is real. And here, let me explain why. So at one point, you guys remember Lil Nas X was on top of the world, right? He had Old Town Road, he had Montero, he had all these huge, massive songs with billions of plays. Remember, billions of streams. We're not talking like 200 million. We're talking about 1 billion plus streams. So the guy was on top of the world, but what he was known for and how he broke out as an artist was through a lot of meme marketing, like memes and kind of like trolling the internet and everything like that. And in his song he initially broke out with was him using a country accent when he doesn't have a country accent. So he's always kind of been like a jokester, kind of using the internet to his advantage as an artist. So let's remember where he came from. But this exposure and him getting his first country song to actually be on the country charts, recruiting Billy Ray Cyrus, was crazy. He was on top of the world. But fast forward to now, you can see he's kind of like, quote unquote, on his downfall per se. So he just put out an album. Do you guys remember the last album he put out? Do you guys know? I actually personally don't know the name of it either. I'm not even gonna lie, but I know he had a song called A Hot Box. That was one of his singles. So one of the singles off the new album was Hot Box. And I guess that was supposed to be like his comeback from, doing all this stuff. He was like mocking Christianity and religion and stuff like that. And, he came out and he was just kind of making people mad with the whole religion thing. And I don't even know too much about that, but I know he made the devil shoes and all that stuff. But that right there, got people mad. The mockery and everything got people really mad. And I feel like that was definitely something he didn't foresee being such a big problem later on, but actually kind of was a big problem later on. And he just didn't foresee the future of what would happen. So the album, like I was saying, the album came out, the recent one, I don't know the name, I'm sorry, but it actually really flopped. A lot of people didn't expect that the album was gonna flop like that. I think the label didn't even see that coming. And one thing I will say, when you get famous as big as Lil Nas X is, the way he was discovered and how he came out being such a mastermind of the internet, he didn't realize there would be other people stepping in to tell him what to do, marketing his music going forward, being self-contained and self-motivated. And then you have a whole team like, all right, on your next project, we're going to need you to do this. We're going to need you to do that. This is how you're going to roll out the new project. We're going to have you, we're going to put out a shoe and it's going to be like the devil. It's going to be cool. You know, sometimes the best way to like keep elevating yourself as an artist is to listen to your own gut. Even though you've signed a contract and everything, I feel like he had enough leverage to keep doing what he wanted to do. But I don't know, the team, the label team felt like they were really heavy on this last project. I can't even lie. It was like, it just felt very forced. But anyway, so it flopped. The last project, a lot of us don't even know what it's called. And now I feel like he's feeling all of the weight coming down on him from all the just the people pissed at him online, the people talking about him on social media, and the flops, the numbers decreasing, the people that are mad at him, mocking religion and everything, and then the whole coming out thing and people not on board and blah, blah, blah. I feel like everything is coming down, and I think this is real. I don't think it's fake for album promo. I think he reached this boiling point and he exploded, and he just went out on Ventura Boulevard, and he literally is in his underwear on the street walking at like 4 a.m. They said something like that. And he actually really went to jail, as we can see here in this video right here. He's actually in jail. Check this out, guys. I just pulled this up.
Hill, case number 25 BWCF 01389. So, appearing as a defendant is Christine O'Connor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Rudy for the people. I would disclose to both sides, I believe I observed, as did thousands of
I
others.
think this is Van Nuys jail.
What led up to his arrest? I did not observe the arrest, and apparently there was nothing to file.
Wow. So this is his lawyer.
The events that.
Sheesh.
Do you waive further written statement rights and or plead not guilty?
I do, Your Honor.
So I'll set this case as a
This
0
is probably like thinking back, what did he do?
September 15th, 2025,
Yeah,
Department.
not cool. So, yeah, this is basically this. I really honestly think this is real. You guys got to realize when you have such large numbers all the time, right? Like you have like 4 or 5 songs with billions of views. When you're not reaching those numbers anymore, it just kills your mental health. Like you wouldn't even imagine. It plays with your emotions so much. You're like, one day you got billions of views, next day 500 million. Next day, another billion, and then you got 100,000 or less. It's just like, it just makes your mental go crazy. You feel like you're worthless. You don't feel like you've felt before anymore. It makes you feel like a loser almost in a sense. And I feel like he doesn't feel like the man anymore. He feels like he's basically becoming irrelevant or whatever. And this is his way to kind of just like, this is just basically him exploding or imploding almost. And I don't think it's for publicity at all. It looks pretty real. I have a picture here pulled up of him coming out of the jail, which is crazy. Leaving Van Nuys jail in the Valley, basically in California. So I mean, he looks like he's kind of smiling here, but he looks like he's thinking about whatever happened. Where this, you have basically. You definitely, as an artist, you have to ride the waves of everything, and you have to ride the highs, you have to ride the lows, and it's a roller coaster. But I felt like he didn't really see this coming or something. He kind of felt like he'd be on top the whole time, but maybe not. But yeah, this is a crazy situation. A lot of people, like I'm saying, think it's a publicity stunt, but I really actually just don't think it is. I think he's smart enough to realize all the things he did before made a lot of people mad, and maybe he just didn't expect it, because you could never really foresee what could happen in the future of music all the time. Like music is so random, and people come in waves. And remember, his song Old Town Road, what was that, like 2019 or 18 or something like that? That was more than a high school generation before. Like that was a whole generation ago. So the people that listened to that song already graduated high school, on their way to college, and they're on to new music already. They're like on to new artists possibly, because his song was looked at more of like a gimmick when it came out than a solidified record that was like building a core fan base. I feel it was more like pop and just out there like that. But basically, yeah, a whole generation passed from Old Town Road until now. Even Industry Baby was what, 2021? Even Industry Baby was it was a smash, but a completely new generation has passed already, moving forward, which is, it's hard to grab a new fan base if you didn't build a core fan base. And what I mean by that is building a core fan base is when you have just a solid foundation of fans that just love you for you, and you're not necessarily pop, right? You're not necessarily on the biggest platforms already with the major concerts and everything and just the label pumping you. And it's more of like a grassroots thing where you build your following from the ground up, and it starts really small. And he kind of just came out guns blazing, if you think about it. It was a novelty hit, basically. And like I said, he's not even, like, the country accent was fake. Saying, hey, I'm gonna take my horse to Old Town Road. I'm gonna ride. And then his next song's like, yeah, in the street, baby. So, and deep down, I don't think the guy's a bad guy. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's probably a nice guy. He's probably a cool person. But the level of fame he has, let's think about that. He can't do anything, guys. This guy is literally contained in a small world. And what I mean by that is he literally can't really leave his house, if you think about it. Like, he could go drive in his car and drive around places, but think about it. If he goes to the mall will kind of get shut down. Like, there's going to be massive swarms of people. He's going to need security. If he goes to a restaurant, everybody's going to be taking pictures of him. Paparazzi's going to wait outside. People will be staring at him, taking pictures, in their seats. This guy literally can't go anywhere. He cannot go anywhere. So he's feeling the effects of having so much pressure on everything, like records going down in numbers. He can't go anywhere. He has a small friend group. He can't become friends with new people because they'll be screenshotting everything he says and blah, blah, blah. He's just a superstar. So he's living a completely different life than the rest of us, and something that we'll never know how it is. So I think we're seeing the repercussions and the effects of massive fame, massive exposure in a short amount of time, and what it does to somebody. And that's what I think it is. And yeah, it's sad to see, man. I mean, I hope he's okay. I don't know really nothing about him, honestly. But I think deep down he seems like a cool guy. Yeah, isolation is very bad for your mental health, guys. Do not isolate yourself. Keep good people around you and try to get out there in nature. Try to get out there with your friends. Go do fun things. Don't get to a level of isolation where you just literally can't talk to anybody or do anything because blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this is a live, but I just want to kind of, reflect on what I think is going on with Lil Nas X. And just to recap once again for the people that are just coming in, basically we're talking about Lil Nas X and how he was walking down a street in his underwear late at night in Los Angeles on a street called Ventura Boulevard. I don't know if any of you guys have a long street in whatever city you live in. This street is probably 20 miles or less, more or less. It's a long street with a bunch of stores on it, and it gets really empty at night. So that's why you see, like, in the background in his underwear, there's like stores that you can see in the background. Let me see if I could pull this up. Yeah, you see, this is Ventura Boulevard. There's a lot of stores. They keep the lights on. There's trees. I've drove down this street like tons of times. It's pretty empty at night, but yeah. So I think the label may be a slight cause of this because of the certain route they're taking to basically strategize his album release. Like I said, when you go and sign somebody that has everything down to a science online, right? And then you start taking over the marketing for them and you become like the second chain of command, things could get sticky, things could get crazy. It's almost like adding an extra cook to the kitchen. He's already good at memes. He's already good at trolling in pop culture. But when you get somebody that's not as good as them into a strategy standpoint, it just adds another cook to the kitchen that may not need to be there, right? So Yeah, that's just my 2 cents. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Lil Nas X is just doing this for publicity, or is there a new album dropping that's about to be the craziest album ever, or is this just maybe a little speed bump in the long career of Lil Nas X? Or is this just a hard to deal with loss of control of a career, you know? Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for joining. I hope to see you guys next time. I think I'll go live some more.